Hello and welcome. Welcome to another episode of Lunch with Lisa. I am Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing, and I am here today to chat about how do we keep it together in a world that's falling apart. I'm watching so many people start to teeter on the edge a little bit. Everybody is on edge. Everybody is, well, not everybody, but many in the world are on edge. They're worried. They're wondering, what do I do in this crazy world? This world that is filled with chaos and confusion. What do I do to keep myself together? How do I be okay with what's going on in the world? So how do we be okay in the world that seems to be falling apart? Hey, Shannon, thanks for hopping on this morning. Good to see you here. So what is it that we do? Why is this all happening? And how do we fix it? How do we get ourselves out of the chaos and the confusion? Because it's absolutely up to each and every one of us to step ourselves out of the noise. The chaos and the confusion are going to keep on going. If left to their own devices, they will continue and they will intensify. And if we stay in that realm of chaos and confusion ourselves, if we allow ourselves to get out of balance, to fall into states of fear or doubt or anxiety or overwhelm. Good morning, Brenda. Thanks for hopping on. If we allow ourselves to go down that rabbit hole of fear and doubt and guilt and worry, and hey, Michelle, we're not doing ourselves any good to fall down those rabbit holes. We're not doing ourselves any favors by allowing ourselves to fall into states of chaos and confusion ourselves. So there's nobody coming to save us. There's nobody coming to save the world. It is up to each and every one of us to save ourselves. It is up to each and every one of us to bring ourselves back into balance. Because by bringing ourselves back into states of peace and ease and well-being, in the face of all that's going on in the world, we start to shine our own light. When we align ourselves, we start to experience ease and peace, well-being, joy. Yeah, it's absolutely possible to experience lots of joy right now. There are amazing things that are happening in this world. We are at the shift of consciousness. So as we go through this shift, humanity is going through an upgrade period. It is time to take the human game up to a whole new octave so that we can start playing in heaven on earth. Even though right now it looks like the opposite. But what's actually happening is that the opposite is having a light shone on it. As each and every one of us starts to do the inner work and we start to turn our own inner light back on, we start to expand our awareness and we start to see what we haven't noticed before. And as we start to see what we haven't previously noticed, it's like going into a dark room with a flashlight. It's like, hey, what's going on in here? It's like, whoa, look at all the stuff going on in here. I didn't see that before. Now we're seeing it because a lot of us have turned our lights back on. A lot of us are starting to realize, wait a minute, there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. It's like, hey, what's actually going on here? And when we start to look, we start to see what's actually going on. And one of the things that we can see when we start to understand how the universe works is that we can see that what's going on, what's playing out on the surface, it's not really so much about what is playing out on the surface. It's about why is all of this stuff being generated to play out on the surface. And the reason why things are playing out on the surface the way they are is because they're being generated from energies of fear, of doubt, of worry, of anxiety, of guilt, of shame, of blame, of anger. All of those energies are forming themselves into the current reality that's playing out, because so many people's energy is focused on the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the doubt, the anger. And the storyline that plays out is simply the storyline that's being generated from those energies. What happens if we used a whole different set of energies? What happens if we started to use the energies of peace and ease and calm and joy and balance? How do you think the reality would change if we used those energies instead? The collective reality is not going to change overnight. Nobody's coming to change it. No, there is no savior. There's nobody riding in on a white horse to change the story, to change the game. Why? Because it's up to each and every one of us. We are the one on the white horse. We are the ones coming to save the day. And it's not to save the day for humanity. The only day that any of us has to save is our own. We are here to save our own day. We are here to bring our own lives up to a whole new octave. And by each one of us saving the day for ourselves, when we start to live in states of peace and ease and well-being for ourselves, no matter what the external world is doing, it's like we are each individual drops of water in the ocean of the collective consciousness. And as each drop of water clears itself and rebalances itself, all of the drops around it start to light up and clear and rebalance themselves as well. This is how we each start to change the collective reality. We can't change the collective reality, but we can change our own reality. And we each have so much power over our own reality. We each have the ability to get quiet and go within and to start operating from higher levels of ourselves, from the self that is already healthy, happy, and whole. By you bringing yourself back into balance, you literally change the collective. When you bring your own life back into balance, you start shining your light bright. And as you shine your light, as you be the light on the candlestick, one candle can light 8 billion others. By you shining your light, by you bringing yourself back into balance, peace, ease, well-being. You change the world. Are you ready to change the world? You have the power. You have the power to rise up out of the chaos and the confusion. And when you rise up above the chaos and confusion can't get you down if you're riding above it. When you bring yourself back into balance, you can ride the waves and you don't get thrown off and you don't get crashed up against the shore on the rocks. When you're fully balanced, you can simply ride those waves time and time again in ease and joy. What would it be like if you could do that right now? Right now, there are two timelines that are active. One timeline is going down the road to destruction. The other timeline is paving the pathway to heaven on earth. Both timelines are available right now. And whichever one we place our attention on is the one that we're going to be on. Which timeline do you want to be on? Heaven on earth is being created right here, right now. I'm creating it in my life. Many of my friends and my clients are creating in their lives. And we're watching it play out literally in front of our eyes. For those who have eyes to see, it is clear that heaven on earth is being created right now. But it's really, really hard to see it when we're stuck looking at the chaos and the confusion, when we're in fear, when we're in doubt, when we're in worry, when we're in that disease consciousness. We don't have to play there. There's a completely different level of reality, totally different energies that we can play in and create our lives from. Are you ready to start creating your life from peace and ease and joy and balance, rather than from fear and frustration, anger and confusion? Because you get a completely different reality. You get a totally different outcome when you start utilizing higher quality energies. Are you ready to be your own savior? Are you ready to save yourself by creating the amazing life that you want to live, by being your best self? Doesn't that sound like a whole lot more fun than living in the chaos and confusion? It's actually very simple, just some simple shifts of perspective. And you can start to see the well-being that it's at hand. You can start to see how to create heaven on earth for yourself. And then you can share that with others. This is how the world changes. We don't change the collective. We don't have to fix what's broken, but we have to create what we want. So are you ready to start creating what you want and moving away from the stuff that we don't want? The disease, the poverty, the crimes, all of the stuff that's going on out in the world. All of those old systems are crumbling and we're watching it and it looks scary and confusing. But when we can see from a broader perspective, we can see that it's okay to let those things go. It's okay to create a completely higher octave reality for ourselves. When you shine your light, for yourself, you shine it for all the rest of the world. And this is what changes everything. So you, personally, you have the power to change the world. Are you willing to use it? For everybody who's ready to start using your power, allowing your soul to take charge, the part of you that is wise, the part of you that is already in well-being, the part of you that is always balanced and aligned, the part of you that is always wise. Are you ready to operate from that part of yourself? Next week, my soul embodiment mastermind experience starts, where we are going to start having experiences of being your soul self, so you can see who you actually are and the powers that you actually possess, so that you can see through the eyes of your soul, so you can access your soul level wisdom. And it's far simpler than it's ever been made out to be. Are you ready to step it up a few notches and make it simple and easy and fun? Hey, we got my dad, Carol. Nice to see you, Carol. Carol, come play with us for the mastermind. I promise you, it'll be the best choice you ever made. So anybody who is interested in learning more, drop a comment in the Facebook page, send me a messenger, send me an email, lisa@connectingyoutoyou.com, connectingyoutoyou.com. That's my website. You can find me there. Shoot me an email, lisa@, or just simply reach out, let me know on Messenger or in a chat here on Facebook. So starting next week, it's definitely not too late to enroll and start having this experience, so that you, by 2022, next year is going to be a really powerful year. Are you ready to step into 2022 as all of you, healthy, whole, balanced, complete, so that you can make 2022 your best year ever? The year that you start creating heaven on earth for yourself. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, let me know. Shannon, thank you. I really needed to hear this message. Awesome. Oh, your words flow from your heart. So wonderful to hear them. So right on. Thank you so much. Peace and love from Carol. Woohoo. Thank you all. So I hope this was helpful. If you are wobbling, if you are having trouble staying balanced as the world seems to fall apart around you, you don't need to have the wobbles. Reach out, get some assistance so that you can steady yourself and regain your balance, so that you can navigate these upcoming times with ease and grace. Okay, there's no need to fall down the rabbit hole of chaos and confusion. So, hey, Connie, you too, come play with us, because this will take all the work that we've done previously, like way up to the next level. So you can really start embodying your soul in your body, so you can operate from that soul level wisdom. I'd love to have you. Carol, does the food we eat have a direct impact on our vibration, either positive or negative? It can. And the answer to that is multi-layered, because we're multi-dimensional beings. The foods that we eat, a lot of the foods that we eat are really kind of not real foods. They're food-like substances. If you look on a lot of these labels, a lot of the foods are, and this isn't to spread fear, but a lot of the foods are just simply a whole bunch of chemicals put together in food form. So we kind of have to be aware of what it is that we're eating, so that we're eating mostly real foods, like stuff that's been grown in the ground and not sprayed with all kinds of chemicals. And, you know, our bodies are amazing. Our bodies can handle so much stuff. Our bodies can handle chemicals, but we don't want to be loading them up with toxins unnecessarily. So if you're living on a diet of Doritos and Coca-Cola, probably not the best choices for food. But as long as you're eating decent food that comes out of the ground and is prepared with love and kindness, your body knows exactly what to do. So the answer is yes, it can raise and lower your vibration, and you don't have to be fully affected by that. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, just drop it in. I'll try to be more clear on that. So hopefully that was helpful to you. So anybody has any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I will be popping into the Facebook group to check it out. So anyway, until next week, I hope this has been helpful to you. You can reach out to me at lisa@connectingyoutoyou.com, spelled out in full. You can find me on YouTube at The Simplicity of Self-Healing with Lisa Warner. My book is called The Simplicity of Self-Healing. You can find that on Amazon. And good, thanks, Carol. I'm glad that was helpful. So, and here on Facebook, you can find me in my Facebook group, Soul Sourced Healing. Thanks so much, everyone. Until next week, create for yourselves a great week, no matter what the collective is doing. Bye for now.